everything that happened today. It was quite the interesting day as we had a very large scrapyard fire back down around 19th Street in the western part of downtown. So we had a big plume of smoke passing on through and making its way across downtown. Air quality was pretty severely reduced for a good portion of time, and it was very interesting to take a look at what happened. A lot of activity going on out there. Let me see if I can get this up on screen here real quick as we start things off. This was the view from our Patriot Concrete camera. This available from my Tumblr account if you'd like to see what's going on there. Big plume of smoke from earlier on, again from the scrapyard piles around 19th Street. Everything has been taken care of, and there is now no longer any danger, but you may have gotten one of those emergency alerts if you were anywhere around this area. Signal Mountain, Lookout Mountain, downtown Chattanooga, upriver into and around the area of Cleveland, whether that plume was heading off toward the north and to the east. The fire is now completely out. The fire department has left the scene, and it looks like everything has been pretty much all taken care of. But this is what we were looking at earlier for tonight, and a good possibility until we get some rainfall out there, we're going to be seeing the potential of some more problems coming our way as it goes into the next couple of days. We did have some degraded air quality across portions of the area. That has since improved. We are now in the green or good category, so good news on that. But it has been quite the day across the area. So if you had any plans for outdoors, especially around downtown, that was the plume of smoke that you may have heard tell about from earlier on. And we're going to see again the potential for that drier weather giving us some problems with more wildfires into the next couple of days. No idea how that fire got started in west downtown today, but we'll be waiting for more information from the Chattanooga Fire Department as they investigate what happened. And, of course, we'll have more coming up on News 12 at 11, so definitely want to stay tuned for more information there. Thanks for joining us tonight. It is Tuesday evening, and again, a very active day so far across much of the area as we see the potential for less in the way of problems with rainfall anytime soon. We do have the possibility of getting some showers Thursday night into Friday, but we are not looking at too much of anything at this time in the way of any major concerns going on. So again, we don't have much of anything to worry about for now. Next week, that is where we could be looking at some problems in the area where it comes to the potential of maybe some stronger weather. Now, again, that could be a bit of a situation, so we'll be watching that with a lot of interest into next week. Toward about Monday, Sunday night into Monday, that could be a bit of an issue there. But for right now, it looks like everything is decently quiet. Let me just double check here because we were having some audio issues from earlier on and don't want to make... Okay, there we go. We have audio, so we are good to go. Thank you very much for sticking with us for tonight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. As I said, let's get going with weather overtime for Tuesday evening. I'm going to check out downtown really quick on the cameras to show you what's happening because we've got the baseball game about ready to wrap up in downtown. Last I heard, the Lookouts were trailing the Birmingham Barons by about a run, and they're in the top of the ninth, so this game is almost over with. But a beautiful evening in downtown when it comes to anything involving anything in the way of baseball or getting outdoors. The Lookouts management were keeping a close eye on the plume of smoke, which again was going right past this area over parts of downtown. So we did have some air quality issues, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. Temperatures right now at the airport, farther off to the east, Chattanooga's airport registering 68 degrees and winds out of the southwest. Very dry conditions, so that's going to leach a lot of the moisture out of the foliage out there, and that's going to increase our potential for wildfire. We don't have any watches, warnings, or advisories in effect for that, but it is possible that we could see that coming up into the next several days. Air quality plenty around downtown and otherwise, not a problem around Hamilton County. But if you take a look down toward north central Georgia, western North Carolina, north of the viewing area, right up around I-40 toward the Cumberland Plateau, that is the worst of the worst. We're not talking about huge problems for right now. It looks like just about a moderate problem leaning toward unhealthy up into around the Crossville area. We don't see anything, again, happening here in the way of major concerns with air quality, but earlier on today it was a little bit lower. The biggest plume of smoke being detected by the visible infrared satellite system is down into east central Alabama. All of these red dots indicate the potential for a possible wildfire on the ground, and there are a lot more tonight than what there were about 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago when I got into work. So there is the potential that we're seeing much drier conditions, much better potential for the possibility of wildfires coming up into the next few days. So that cigarette butt tossed out the window, that could start a major wildfire, so keep that under control. And anything having to do with flame or fire outside, lots of caution, because this is looking a lot more dangerous. Now, we did see, again, some improvement. We did have almost a moderate to unhealthy level of possibilities of air quality in the area. That got up to about the 110, 115 degree range in downtown. As of this evening, about the last reading we had about an hour ago, give or take, was about 46. So that is in the green. The worst pollution was particles, 2.5 nanometers in width, again, or micrometers, I should say, probably. Again, the 2.5, that's the smaller. What you get picking up at the 10 micrometers is the potential for dust from construction areas, farming, logging, forestry type activities. What you get from the very small particles, these can cause the most damage and the most lung irritations in that smaller category. This was much higher earlier, but now it is back to where we should be at this time of the night. Might see some fluctuations overnight as we get into Wednesday morning, but we did manage to see a decent amount of smoke over downtown, and portions of the area were picking that up. Good website to check out here. Well, a couple of good websites to take a look at. This is from aqicn.org. If you'd like to check this out for yourself, this is a very good website taking a look at the air quality meters across much of the area. We've got some right along the Tennessee River, one out in Collegedale, close to the Appleton area, and then downtown managed to pick up quite a few, and a couple of these went again into the about 100 plus range. So we were into the code orange, almost code red territory earlier from that plume of smoke that moved off to the east-northeast. As of right now, the air quality in the area is much better than what it used to be. Also have to say thank you to Hamilton County 911. They've got a great website taking a look at all the information that comes in from incidents across Hamilton County, dispatched from the Hamilton County 911 Center. This is a great website. We featured this on our special coverage earlier on today. And again, you can see by color coding and letters where the current fire information is. Right now, while we're talking, fire department is en route to something on Hickory Valley Road. It looks like there is an ambulance dispatched for the area into and around Signal Mountain. Hamilton County EMS on Morrison Springs Road. And then what we saw earlier today, and it looks like that is no longer the case. The problem was seen right around this area, just between the river and downtown. There's nothing on site right now. There's a couple of police units on the area close to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Riverfront Parkway. There's also another officer on scene at Poplar Street. So we're seeing nothing in the way of indications of any flare-ups from that fire earlier tonight, so good news on that. And thanks to Hamilton County 911, the emergency services active incidents area. Thanks to everybody for putting this together. It's an excellent website to get information about what's going on from their emergency communications department. So very neat to see that. And again, if you'd like to go there, it's hc911.org for a very cool look at what is actually going on across the area, and that came in very handy earlier on today. But as of right now, again, there's nothing going on in the way of a flare-up from that fire. We did manage to have a decent amount of smoke plumes earlier on. Nothing showing up now. The fire was over this direction, and the plume was going right across the interstate, and some pretty ugly visibility for a while as 27 split off to become 24 west and 24 east. That is currently not happening at this time, and the view from State 27 and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, the smoke was coming from over here looking up toward Lookout Mountain. That is not the case right now. Very clear conditions and everything moving along quite nicely. We did have a decent amount of southerly winds today, and that did a very good job. High pressure has moved off to the east, so the rotation is keeping the winds coming up from out of the south right now, and it's not much. It's fairly weak. Again, we've got some very nice southerly winds, but we have little in the way of major amounts of anything involving a lot of wind coming up. We do have the potential of seeing this front coming our direction into the next couple of days. It will be dropping our way, but as you can see for right now, there's really not that much going on. Southerly winds transporting some moisture up toward the front, but as this makes its way across the area, I doubt we'll see much more than just the possibility of cloud cover out there. There will be a new area of low pressure developing on the back side of this system, and that, as it gets closer to us on Thursday and Friday, will give us the best potential for some rainfall. Now, all the way out into the Gulf of Alaska, that is our next storm system as we get into next week. It's going to take the rest of the week, the weekend, and into next week before it crosses the country and gives us the potential of some more stronger weather. I don't think we're looking at severe weather, at least just yet, but we've got several more days before that system gets closer to us. So as the days get shorter, closer to that event next week, the last few days of April, that is where we may see some possible problems. But for right now, there's nothing showing up in the way excuse me, of problems. Beg your pardon. Hate it when I do that. Unfortunately, the pollen is giving me problems, and I'm on a new diabetes medication, so that's making it a little dry and dusty in the pipes for tonight. The computer models tomorrow, as that front gets closer to us, when it's really, really dry and there's not much moisture available right along that front, the computer models get a little bit over-eager to get more potential for rain in the area. So I really, really, really doubt that we're going to see anything in the way of rain as this front gets a little bit closer to us. I think clouds mixed with sunshine on Wednesday and some very nice temperatures, probably back in the 70s once again. Now that front heads down to the south of us, giving us a bit of more sunshine coming up on Thursday, at least in the morning. More clouds into the afternoon, very mild conditions there. And then that next system begins to evolve back to our west. I think Thursday night into Friday morning, that is where we may see some showers coming our direction. Again, not a great amount, but possible, and no thunderstorms detected there. By Friday afternoon, we may see even more activity, but it really doesn't look like a lot coming our way, so good news there. Now, by Saturday, we kind of clear things out, at least where the rain is concerned. Too dry, not enough energy in the atmosphere to give us any problems. But Saturday looks like sort of a cloud-sun mixture, probably heavier on the clouds and the sunshine coming up, and that will be our best potential of getting into some more problems out there. So again, for outdoor activities, that is where we may see the potential for more in the way of chances of rain coming up into the weekend. That's going to be the best potential out there, I think, for now. But it's going to be next week that we see the possible problem for anything involving heavier weather out there. Again, could be the possibility of some stronger thunderstorms coming up, but I just don't see that for now. Again, it's a ways away into the future, so we'll take a look at that in the next several days. The best thing you can do right now is just be up to date on what may be coming our direction, and that may be one of the best things that you can possibly do. Got an interesting view here on our 7-day forecast. Let's see if this shows up here. Got some what looks like either clouds or smoke or something going on here. Possibly some cloud cover drifting on through. Orion, the constellation, the 3 stars in the belt right there. Not too sure what this is at this point. Looks like probably just clouds going on through, drifting through the area. So not much of a total problem with views. There's our chance of rainfall coming up on Thursday into Friday. It's not much. Again, late night Thursday, Friday, that's about it. Temperatures will be milder over the next few days, getting into the 80s through the weekend. And then as we go towards Sunday, some rain showers possible. Thunderstorms potential on Monday. That's where we look at the greatest potential going on there. And then maybe some showers lingering into about Tuesday as we see some very mild conditions happening across much of the region. That will hopefully tamp down the chances of anything involving fire out there. Some wildfire danger, that is something we really need to watch out for, especially at this time of the year. Now, the good news is as we go toward May, we're going out of severe weather season for this particular area. We start getting into about May through about, give or take, late October, early November. That is where we hit the summer doldrums, to where we get little, if anything, unless the conditions are just right to the tumblers in the lock, give us the potential of severe weather if everything hits at the right time and the right frequency and the right amount of energy and moisture and everything else. But for right now, I think what we're going to be getting is some much quieter months coming up into the next several days and weeks. It's still possible to get severe weather. Don't get me wrong about that, but we do need to be prepared for it. And as of right now, I think things are hopefully quieting down. We'll keep our eyes on that, so keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll let you know more about what is heading our direction. Taking a look at the Your Environment page for this day, a very nice view from the NOAA Fisheries, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They're involved with more than just forecasting weather. They take a look at the environment. They take a look at, under the Department of Commerce, they help keep track of how the shipping lanes are for keeping those open. They take a look at coastal and tidal estuaries, to where a lot of aquatic animals have their eggs and their habitats. They also take a look at the health of fisheries up and down the East Coast and all over the United States. So this was a nice little thing for them to do, talking about how you can celebrate Earth Week and how commercial fishermen are helping to tackle the hashtag of marine pollution, one balloon at a time. You get these balloons, they're very cheap. You fill them with helium, you release them at a party or some sort of celebration or a remembrance ceremony, and they go off, and it's a nice little tribute. But what happens to that balloon after you release it? Well, if they're Mylar, they can take hundreds of years to break down and dissolve or decompose, but then all you've got left over is plastic pollution in the form of microplastics, which get into the fish we eat, which get into our bloodstream, which get into our water supply, which get into A, B, C, D, Q. There's evidence that plastics are running around in our brain of a microscopic nature that is not healthy. That is definitely not a good thing. So if you want to combat marine debris, the best, and marine pollution, think about other ways of celebrating without the balloons. Not to mention the fact that these things, as if they drift into the ocean, jellyfish are similarly shaped to some of this pollution as those balloons land in the water, and sea turtles eat and choke on these. So if you want to do the environment a favor, find another way to celebrate without buying balloons, because these things, if you launch them out there, they just become pollution in someone else's tree, someone else's yard, someone else's roof, someone else's gutter, whatever. And then you also see, again, the potential of a lot of pollution that can be deadly for marine life. If you'd like to find out more, NOAA fisheries are a great place to start, or noaa.gov, NOAA.gov. You can also find out more by going to my social media pages. I'm out there every place except for Facebook. When they're going to let me back in again, I don't know, but all of my identification is apparently not good enough for them. So as of right now, that would be nice to be back on there, but I can't. In the meantime, you'll find me out there someplace, so please drop by and take a look. So for tonight, it was perfect for baseball. Into tomorrow, things are looking very nice indeed as we see tomorrow the winds out of the north on Wednesday, and that means any pop flies at AT&T Field might be blown back toward the infield a little bit. Very mild, very sunny starting things off. A bit on the cooler side toward the seventh inning stretch as the hometown Lookouts take on the Birmingham Barons, but otherwise it looks like a beautiful evening for anything involving baseball in downtown. First pitch at 7:15 p.m. at AT&T Field, just south of the Tennessee River in downtown Chattanooga. So drop on by and take a look around, and hopefully, again, we'll get some good news. Haven't checked in on the scoreboard yet. Hopefully the Lookouts were able to make up that last run and tie or hopefully win against the Birmingham Barons. So hopefully some good news on that. Rick Nyman will have more on sports coming up here later on tonight. I think that should just about do it. Let me check one more thing. I believe for tomorrow, cloud-sun mixture, very much on the mild side. Temperatures very close to normal for the bus stop Wednesday forecast. Chilly in the morning, but not as frosty as yesterday. Nothing in the way of frost advisories out there, so that is definitely some good news. Looking at no problems at all out there. Let's do one more. Let's get the almanac in here and show you 75 the high, 41 the low temperature, very close to where we should be on the highs, about 15 degrees or so below the record, which was last set back in 1925. 41 the low temperature, record low 34 set back in 1982. Well behind for the month of April and for 2024, so we could definitely use some more rainfall out there. Almost forgot. Yes, let's do this. Our Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. Yesterday, Gary Creators from, I believe, around Ringgold. Thank you very much for your submission of a beautiful eclipse picture from last week, Monday. And then thanks to Sierra Johnson for some beautiful flowers on the Ringgold Trail. That's our Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. We'll take just about anything in the way of pictures as long as it is weather related. So if you have weather pictures, here's what you do. Drop them to the comments section of our social media pages. You can email them to us at pictures@wdef.com, or you can go to our website, wdef.com/photos. So you can submit your pictures and see what everybody else is submitting for the Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. So please let us know what you're looking at, what you're seeing. Give us a location or a description. You do not have to use your name if you don't want to. You can be anonymous. We can take care of that. That's not a problem, but please send them in. We could use some beautiful eclipse pictures. We're getting to as many of those as we can, but we're trying to intersperse them with other ones so we don't become too mono-focused on the eclipse from last week. But thank you everybody for sending in some wonderful pictures. Been getting some very nice ones out there. And what the heck, let's throw in the outdoors forecast tomorrow. Beautiful conditions, not a problem for being outdoors. A little breezy, but not bad. Winds gusting at about 15 miles per hour. And likewise, that means if you're going to be going out for a round of golf, no worries about severe weather. Cloud-sun mixture overwise, and temperatures beautiful. Should be good for a walk on the golf course. I'm very good at caddying. I am not good at golf except for putt-putt, mini golf. I'm good at that, but if you want a good caddy, I can help you out, but playing around a golf just is not in my generic future. So go out there, have fun, and enjoy yourself, and hopefully, again, get some good conditions out there for tomorrow. That should do it for tonight's weather overtime. I think we're doing pretty well for this evening as we see the potential for little, if anything, taking place at this point where it comes to major amounts of problems in the weather situation. Next week, that could be a concern. So we'll keep an eye on that and keep you you updated as to what is going on. Thanks to everybody else for checking in on Twitch and YouTube. Glad to have you along for the ride. Please spread the word, forward information. If you like what you see here, forward a link to your social media pages. Talk us up if you would be so kind, and let us know what you think by emailing us. Again, if you'd like to send an email along, information right here at the bottom of the screen, aonek@wdef.com. If you'd like to get in contact with me, if you'd like to see more information about something, more satellites, more worldwide weather, if you'd like to see less of something, say so. We'd love to know what to get you to tune back in and see what is on your mind, and so we can give you more information and make this your weather blog, especially if you live in the Tennessee River Valley, so stay tuned for more on that. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onig. This has been Weather Overtime for Tuesday, 423, the same area code as Chattanooga, 423 today. Stay tuned for more with News 12 later on tonight, and of course Chip Chapman will have more on your forecast bright and early tomorrow morning, so stay tuned for more at 5 a.m. Eastern on the Peak of the Week Wednesday report with Chip Chapman and everybody else on the News 12 morning show. Thanks for joining us tonight.